Yeah, here we go, man. I'm super excited about this. This is top 5 go away Heat wrestlers, man. Like the guys that like they just don't do it for you, man. No matter what. Like it's not about a potential thing. It's not about like it's either their character sucks, they're not good bell to bell. Or maybe everybody loves them and you just think that it's trash. You just think that it's absolute gutter trash. So, I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to kick things off here. And on a personal level, this has a lot of deep meaning to me. And for a long time, even though it's kind of changed here and there, I've gotten a little softer here and there. But for the most part, I'm sorry about your damn luck because number 5 for me is James Storm. I feel like 9 times out of 10, he's a human fast forward button. Also, he just act like it's not that he's even that bad bell to bell. It's that he's not very good either, and he acts like he is very, very good. I don't know. Especially like I don't know. For me, it's a little bit deeper on the personal side, but yeah,
That's
number
Bert
5 to me
Prentice's
is the
favorite
Cowboy
son.
James Storm, huh?
Bert's favorite son.
Yeah, Bert's favorite something.
That's what you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, and rumors are irrefutable at this point. My goodness, starting off hot, Jesse Baker, number 5, go away Heat wrestler.
Okay, so mine is a portion of this person's career, which is the most significant and latest over the course of the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. And the reason I feel like that's valid is because of the term X-Pac Heat. It's very well lauded that we all love Sean Waltman here. And, the fact that Go Away Heat has been associated with his name for as long as anybody can remember kind of makes this make sense to me. My number 5, though, is Goldberg.
Ooh, solid.
That last even the first run in WWE really I think falls into this, even at that far back, so 20 years. But every single return I just think has been complete and utter gutter trash. He's made the people that he was in the ring with look terrible, and it's just been down the fuck right embarrassing, man. And I just wish that at some point in time, look, if your son wants to see you wrestle so bad, buy him a fucking Peacock subscription, get off of my TV.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn.
Fully agree. Wax, number 5, where are you at?
All right, coming at number 5 for me, he has been a heel most of his career, but not the whole time. And when he became a singles wrestler, I just didn't fucking get it, and that's JBL. He just, every time he became on the screen, he's one of those people just pissed me off. I'm like, how did one of the acolytes become the fucking world champion and it not be Ron Simmons? Like, his gimmick never got over with me. I just thought it was lame as fuck. Like, even though he had some like decent matches, like I've always skipped JBL matches. I've never fully watched that like bloody brawl with Eddie Guerrero. I just can't fucking stand the dude. And I did not like the APA, the acolytes like back then, but he's just so lame and not believable to me to be a top guy. He had a one world title, had that one little run, but he's just lame as fuck and just annoying as hell. Like even when he was on commentary, fuck, it was the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's well documented that he's like not the greatest person in the world in the back. But there was a different era, and apparently like he's like been forgiven by a lot of people about that. So I guess it's water under the bridge, but it's well documented that he was kind of a bully and an asshole and all of those other things in between. But it was also, I guess, like attributed to like everybody was kind of that way, and at that time it was like kind of par for the course for a pro wrestler. So I guess he gets some passes, but I completely understand where your number 5 is, what it is.
Since he's a heel, I kept him low because that's what he's supposed to do. But I really fucking didn't like him.
I like that. Makes sense to me. It all computes. Let's keep it rolling here, though. My number 4, go away Heat, is the big bad booty daddy, Scott Steiner. I hate it. I literally hate Scott Steiner. I don't think he's ever been good ever. I think he's always been overrated. Even the Steiners as a tag team, like I think that they were a good team, like an okay team, but I also think that it's like everyone's like, oh, they're an iconic tag team. It's like, okay, dude, name me literally more than 10 tag teams from the late 80s to mid 90s that were good. Name 10 of them. And it's like, well, they were there, yeah, and they wrestled okay, but they really weren't great. Like they were a good team, and yes, they could do like Hurricane Ranas, and they were muscle guys. That's cool. They were athletic for sure, but super clunky. It was like, to me, it was like they're just the LOD, but like athletes instead of like movie characters. Like that's all it is. Like they just beat the hell out of the other guys. Nothing is smooth. Nothing looks like they're actually working or trying to protect the people they're wrestling. I mean, I think they broke Mick Foley's jaw. Like they're just, yeah, I don't know.
That
I have
was a
nothing. I
bolt-on.
never got it. The over steroid thing. His annoying voice. It's just so stupid. I don't know. I just
It's the
hate
big bad booty daddy.
I hate it. I
World's
hate Scott
largest
Steiner. I
dog.
think he's trash. I think you could delete his entire career from
It's got a
wrestling,
fat
and no
ass.
one would really miss him. I don't think he would change anything. So yeah, that's number 4 for me, Scott Steiner. Jesse, where you at?
We wouldn't have that great math promo, which will live on forever in eternity, in
Yeah.
perpetuity, in everyone's memory. R.I.P. Scott Steiner's career right around that time. My number 4 is in some ways virtually synonymous with my number 5, and that would be Mr. Ryback. I fucking hated him from day one. I never could stand the fucking guy. Everybody I know that ever had the opportunity to wrestle him said he was just like unrelentingly stiff, didn't know how to work anything, wouldn't work anything. He was like this blend of like a wannabe Ultimate Warrior with his RVD tights, which like fucking gimmickinfringement.com. I don't understand why anybody let him get away with that in the first fucking place. And then number 2, he got the Goldberg chance the entire damn time. And everybody, it wasn't in a favorable way. Everybody was basically saying, this is bullshit. You're pushing this guy down our throats. What the fuck? Get him off my screen. And I have to concur. So number 4, fuck you, Ryback.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had him in my bronze position, so yeah, he was a little bit higher for me. Ryback is number 3, worst ever for me. But let's get back to your number 4, Wex.
Coming in at number 4 for me, it hasn't been really his whole career, but the majority of his career, definitely through right up till he retired. I don't know if he's fully retired yet, but that's the Big Show. He just they've overdid it, like all of his heel turns and face turns back and forth, and just some of those times where he was just like in horrible shape, not working good, and they would just, I don't know. The Big Show just pissed me off as a kid, like past like 2003. Like 2003 up until like for pretty much the rest of his career, I really did not like the Big Show. Like,
wow.
I get it, he's an attraction, but like it's not really an attraction when you see it every fucking week and you don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. And the fucking knockout punch is the dumbest shit ever. Like, first time I saw him do that, nope, changing the fucking channel. The knockout punch, dumb as fuck. Paul White, not a bad guy, not a bad wrestler. Had some cool stuff in the early days, but man, I really can't stand the Big Show.
You do have to hand it to him. He's one hell of an entertainer. I mean, like,
no, he had some stuff, but then just like a couple other guys on this list, they have good stuff I enjoy, but they really pissed me off for a long time. So Big Show is one of those. I know you might be surprised about that one, but
yeah, no, I'm not surprised by it. I disagree because I think there's enough good Big Show moments like in his career to not be a go-away Heat wrestler. But I understand what you're saying. This
is all personal opinion, though. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm not like, again, I don't think it's a wild hot take or anything. Like that makes perfect sense to me. Obviously, now that we're getting into our medal tiers here, the tier 3, tier 2, tier 1 type deal. I already said that my bronze medal goes to Ryback, and it's all the same reasons. I mean, the guy, I think he's like, not only is he trash, but he's the epitome of the entitled, like everything that you like. We're all pro wrestling fans, right? And there's different types of pro wrestling fans, and we all like there's certain pro wrestling fans that are the worst type of people. And as wrestling fans, as soon as I say that, you instantly know exactly what type of fan that I'm talking about, right?
Your basic Twitter fan, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Or the meatheads that are like. That still are kind of like, oh yeah, it's faking this and this, but like I know that this part was real because I got a buddy that like, you know what I mean? Like there's those type of guys, like, and a lot of them are kind of meatheaded and like I don't know. Ryback just like totally championed those kind of fans, and like at a time where like I feel like it was kind of pivotal in the business, which is why like I feel like he's still kind of remembered and talked about. Because it wasn't kind of a pivotal time where we're kind of coming out of like the Super Cena era into like a more like, the Summer of Punk happens and like other things are changing and more independent wrestling and like Japan wrestling is becoming more popular. And so it's like, I don't know. I just feel like he took so much away. Like he set wrestling back so far in a time where it was supposed to be progressive. You know what I mean?
I do.
I agree.
Yeah. So number 3 for me is Ryback. Let's get to your number 3 there. What, Jesse?
Number 3 is actually kind of 2 people, but kind of 1 person in their own little way. And that for me is the Bella Twins.
Ooh, good.
Now I understand that they crossed over into television popularity with their little reality show and all that fun stuff and yada yada yada. And I'm sure they make great cheerleaders. But as far as being inside of a wrestling ring, I just always hated it. I never enjoyed a match involving the Bella Twins. I know that I never will. I'm sure there'll be more. I just think it's god awful. So Bella Twins, y'all can do your little twin magic on E and keep it there.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the Bellas. I think they got better and better as time gone on, but I don't think they were great. But I did think they improved from dog shit to at least passable. But again, your opinion I can understand. Not mad at it. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree, Jesse. I never enjoyed one of their matches. I never watched one. It was always piss break, change the channels, pack a bowl, one of those.
Brie Bella, Stephanie McMahon. That match was pretty good.
I don't remember what happened, but I guess it's time for my number 3. And my number 3 specifically post-Shield, pre-heel babyface Roman Reigns.
Oh, that's not the direction I thought you were going to go with that. I thought you were going to go a different direction altogether. But
no,
that's fine.
I mean,
I can understand that.
Different, but dude, I hate him. He's not go away heat. I hate him for different reasons. So you're thinking about, but I've grown to like him. But dude, Roman Reigns during that post run, after he tore his hernia, went away for a little bit, and then they came back and they just forced him down our throat for years and years and years. Some of the worst promos. I remember that suffering succotash promo. Fucking horrible. Post WrestleMania, everyone chanting "fuck you, Roman." They're like, nope, he's still a babyface. Still a fucking baby. Like that's Vince McMahon being stubborn as fuck. An entire arena is chanting "fuck you," and you're like, nah, we're still booking him as a babyface. It's like, and this was the worst period. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. And I was like, God fucking damn it, change the channels. I fucking hated that so much.
Yeah, it was bad.
It irked me to my soul. Only one other person irked me to my soul more than that, and he's number 1. But ooh, he irked me.
I feel like my number 2 is going to be a little surprising here. It's a callback from yesteryear, but some people said he was going to be like the next Stone Cold, and he had a really big run. But to me, it's Ken Kennedy. It's Ken Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, whatever you want to call him.
Good.
I just do not like that guy. I feel like, and it's a pure judgment thing, and maybe it is because he's a good heel. Maybe that is what it is. But I genuinely feel like the more and more I learn about the dude as well, like this is an opinion. The reason why he's on this list is not even so much of like his work at the time, because at the time I was like, okay, whatever. Like I don't really like him, but I didn't hate it. It's like the more time goes on, the more I realize that like the reason why he didn't make it is because he's a dickhead. Like he really is that person. Like, and that just makes me not want to ever see him on TV again. I know like recently people have talked about him kind of making a comeback or trying to do something, and I'm like, I really hope not. I just don't want to see that ever again. It wasn't good then. It's not going to be good now. Hope we never see Ken Anderson again. I wish him well in his personal life. Hopefully he's happy and healthy and successful in something else. But I just don't want to ever see him wrestle again. That's my number 2. My silver medal is Mr. Kennedy. Jesse, where you at?
My silver goes to specifically, but also afterward, Wildman Mark Marrow.
Ooh, solid.
That's random, but I guess I get it.
He came in with so much fanfare, had one of the first guaranteed money contracts from a guy that jumped from WCW into WWE that wasn't the base pay of 10 matches at $150. He had one of the first guaranteed flat money contracts, all this fanfare, comes up with this stupid fucking character that they stick him with. And that in large part was him and his whole like, my eyes are just going to be wide and I'm going to look like I'm crazy and all this crazy shit. And like, just never, I mean, I remember photo shoots in WWF magazine. I think it was Raw magazine, of him and Sable with like tigers and like.
Oh, he looks
shit.
So, dude, yeah, I have that. I have it. It's magazine. I have that.
It's just so fucking stupid. And like, all of the iterations of his character after that, when they go into he's a Golden Glove New York State boxing champion, so he comes out in his fucking do-rag and shit, and then like once Sable does her inevitable rise into being the superstar, the whole fucking situation with him like belittling her, that was probably the peak of him being acknowledged by an audience in WWF, but it wouldn't have happened without Sable, first of all.
Oh, hell no.
Well, that pairing with him and Jackie was just piss poor. His whole fucking angle with that whole thing was just awful. When Goldust was like in his weird like pseudo Marilyn Manson gear and shit.
The artist formerly known as Goldust, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The whole fucking run, the whole deal, his little TKO shit, that whole fucking business, everything about Mark Marrow after. Look, Johnny B. Bad is a big fat fucking joke, obviously. Yeah. It opened like
it's Little Richard, clearly.
Yeah, but he opened like every WCW pay-per-view for 4 fucking years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fans got into it. He had a stupid little glitter cannon and shit. Like, he did that part well. There was some character there. I can understand why Vince.
He worked the gimmick well. Yeah.
Especially Vince in early 90s. I see why he wanted him. But he wanted Johnny B. Bad. What he got was not Johnny B. Bad. So, number 2, my go away. I never wanted to see him on screen. Every single time the fucking bell rang, it was god-awful Mark fucking Marrow.
I agreed when you said Wild Man Mark Marrow. I agreed. I do think that like the first couple months of Marvelous Mark Marrow were pretty good actually. But it was really just Sable getting over and him almost being the heater mouthpiece. But I do think that like I will say that like watching that whole thing again, because by the way, since last SummerSlam season, I got addicted to 97 again, and I've literally been watching like week by week everything in WWF at the time since that SummerSlam. And so I literally just watched like I don't think Sable ever would have become Sable, like ever, without Marrow like really turning heel and blowing her up. Like, 'cause he did a really good job of getting her over too. Like, so while I again completely understand, verified, like validating your opinion for sure, but I do think he had some saving graces. That's the only reason he didn't make my list.
Hey, I think if she'd have whipped them titties out earlier, then she would have got over. So.
Indeed.
So that's all I'm saying.
You're number 2 there, Wexley. What do you got?
Coming in at number 2 for me is a dude who I think has no business still being in a wrestling ring. He has no business holding titles or headlining pay-per-views, and that's Brodus Clay, a.k.a. Tyrus, a.k.a. piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'd never, the Funkasaurus was whack. Didn't like that. When he was, even the pre-Funkasaurus, and he was just Brodus Clay, that was whack. These days, like, we watched that pay-per-view where he faced Rodney Mack in like one of the most pitiful, just horrible matches I've ever seen in my life. It was hard to watch, and he looked like he was gonna fucking pass out.
Yeah, he looked gray at one point.
Yeah, it was horrible. He looked like he lost all of his color, and he's about to go to the next echelon of life. He's gonna go into the other side, you know. But man, and his punk ass is on Fox News too, so that's a good reason to not like him too. And he's just shitty personality, bad wrestler, bad overall. Like the Funkasaurus, that was the dumbest shit ever. I was genuinely upset watching that. And then by the time, remember, like within a few months, he had Prince Albert, A-Train, Lord Tenside dancing with him. It was just some bullshit. Fuck you, Brodus Clay, Tyrus.
Were they end up calling him like Sweet Tea or something like that?
What's up?
I think it
was. He was still Tensai, so they called him like Sweet Tea.
Oh yeah, he was like Sweet Tea or
Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea. Oh my goodness,
man. Which Prince Albert narrowly made it off the list. He was probably like number 6.
Yeah. He was very close to being on.
If he was a top 10, he would have been in the top 10, but he probably would have been close to the bottom of the top 10, I'd say.
But yeah, that is my number 2 for me is Tyrus, the piece of shit Brodus Clay.
Okay. So before we get to number 1s, he didn't make the list. But I do want to go through and do a little honorable mentions here. Okay. I got 2 honorable mentions. 2 guys that didn't make the list, but that were very, very close. They're both from the Attitude Era. The closest one to making the list actually was Steve Blackman with the fucking drumsticks that are like glow in the dark.
What? Like, I love that, dude. I'm sorry. Maybe I was younger.
I hated him. I thought he was trash. I thought it was so stupid. I literally thought he was wearing pajama pants. Like he just didn't work out for me. And number 2. Honorable mention is the most dangerous man in the world, Ken Shamrock. His shit was trash, man. I'm literally watching it right now, and it was garbage. Like he was one of the worst promos. His stuff in the ring is terrible. He has like a couple main event matches with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels is trying to work with him. And there's a couple times where he just like looks at Vince for a shoot, and he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this dude? Like, he's just terrible. Like, I mean, he's just super, super sloppy. I don't know why people think he was good back then. It doesn't make sense to me because he was not good. I mean, nothing he did in the ring was good. So yeah, those two get my honorable mentions. Jesse, who are your honorable mentions before we get to our number ones?
I got a couple. I feel bad for saying this because it's genuinely do not think it was his fault, but Giant Gonzalez, aka El Gigante, definitely makes my honorable mentions list just because it was a chore to have to watch anything that he was a part of, whether it be Ric Flair,
Agreed.
I Kill You, or the Undertaker match at WrestleMania has to be the main reason he would have made it onto my list because that was so god awful and it was very hard to sit through. And the other one, the only reason he didn't make my list is because my number one is going to be real off the beaten path. But Baron fucking Corbin, who
he is in my top 10.
I really enjoyed the initial part of his NXT run. I very truly did. And everything after that, I think, has just been
Agreed.
Worst, the absolute fucking worst. Wes, what about you on honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. One for me that barely didn't make the list was another person that's just because his body's fucked up. He can't wrestle, and that's the Great Khali. He was one of the most annoying fuckers. Just like you said, his matches were just hard to watch, and it was just really hard to get through sometimes. And another person that barely didn't make the list, of course, was The Miz. Which later, of course, The Miz later in his career,
he's a legend.
Once he found his shit, but like his early career, even through his first WWE title run, when he was doing that shit with like that fucking sucked. I hated him. Like when he at WrestleMania when he won the title, I was just like, dude, like come the fuck on. The Miz.
I don't even know if Miz is in my top 10 even, but I'll say he's in my top 25 of all time.
I mean, till this day, I don't really give a fuck. I'm gonna change it unless, and it depends on his opponent. If it's a whack opponent, I'm not watching the match. It has to be someone good for me to be like, okay.
He's not Shawn Michaels or an Eddie Guerrero or a Kurt Angle. He can't just do it by himself. But if he has a good dance partner, I mean that for an angle too, not just a match. Like, but usually it's both. Honestly, like he's not a bad bell-to-bell wrestler. Like,
and my other one I forgot.
You're not really watching.
Honorable mention: Abyss from TNA. I fucking hate every Abyss match ever.
I agree.
Fucking can't stand them.
It's a Kane, Mankind, bastard child, great value ripoff. It sucks.
Trash.
Yeah,
Dutch Mantel's Puerto Rican Kane gimmick. That's all it was. I mean, like that's who gave it to him. That's how it happened.
But Sinister Minister James Mitchell, he's a badass motherfucker. I'll give that to him.
I love it. Okay, so let's go to our number ones here. Number one, go away Heat wrestler for me. I don't know if she's still a wrestler, but like Dana Brooke is the worst thing I have ever seen inside a professional wrestling ring in my entire life. And I mean that genuinely. She is gutter trash garbage. She is the worst wrestler I've ever seen. I don't believe any of her promos. I think she's super hokey. I think that she's just a fake thing. Like, I don't know it's just not for me, bro. Like, every single ounce of her rubs me the wrong way. Like, it just don't like the way there's something about her face I just don't like. I just don't like her. Like, I don't know why. I just really don't like her. Yeah. Can't wrestle, can't talk. Shouldn't even be on TV for any reason. Not even a bad reality show. Like, there's better candidates. Like, she's just not. Yeah, I don't know. Should never be on TV, let alone wrestling ever.
I can get behind that.
Oh, God. It's just going to get mean, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm just going to leave it at number one for me overall. Never want to see on wrestling television again is Dana Brooke.
Right.
Jesse, number one.
Gold medal, and this brings up one other honorable mention only because originally this was my number one, but I kind of felt like I had to cut a little bit of slack and kind of switch gears on the number one. The honorable mention for number one though is Nia Jax. That almost was the one, but for a lot of reasons I switched it. My gold medal to Go Away Heat, largely because he did it to himself, and it's not just the fans, it's the business, and it's every fucking body else. Teddy Hart,
who
had just a world of potential, not only the lineage, not only the training, not only the athletic ability. He was the youngest person at the time that WWF ever did actually sign, fucked it up for himself, couldn't handle himself on the road. He's gotten kicked out of damn near every company he's ever been in, if not every company he's ever been in, gotten in constant legal trouble, fucking breeding cats and smuggling weed and beating women and doing all this crazy shit. and just took all of this talent and knowledge about the wrestling business and pigeonholed himself into a corner where not even the fans want to see him, and everybody, it's just living his character is not a gimmick. It's just him, and it's all he would ever do. There's no dividing line between the two, and he completely and totally just butt-fucked a universe full of potential for himself. So that would be my gold medal go-away heat, is Mr. Teddy Hart.
I like it. That makes sense to me. I'm into it. Wex, where you at? Number one go-away heat wrestler of all time.
Number one, it's a person who I've later, became to respect them, and I appreciate them more in their sort of like post-wrestling career. But dude, post-Dr. Thugonomics up until U.S. title John Cena, that fucking era of John Cena for me in high school through like my early, even like up into my early 20s, fucking hated it so much. I looked like I fucking could not stand seeing that man on TV. And like it wasn't just because he was a heel, he was a good guy. He was a good guy, just like the Roman Reigns. And you guys know, he beat Shawn Michaels every fucking time for the title. Anytime Shawn Michaels could, every time Cena beat him. And then he just kept winning and fucking winning and fucking winning. And it wasn't until he faced Kevin Owens when Kevin Owens was the NXT champion, when he was the U.S. title right before that little like U.S. title open challenge started, I was like, okay. And then I actually started, because his character, he actually had a character. He wasn't just like, I'm good guy, Super Cena, let's win the match. Like,
Yeah.
that.
So you're at a good 7 solid year run of Cena.
Dude, it was fucking horrible. I would just get so mad. Like, I can remember being at Hooters just like, fuck, again.
Yeah.
He got to the point where it was just like, oh, yep, Cena's the match. He's fucking winning. I'm not even going to watch it. Cena's going to win.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this shit. Rey Mysterio winning the WWE Championship on Raw in like a little tournament, and then immediately John Cena beating him for it the same night. And I was just like, God fucking damn it, Super Cena strikes again.
I think the best
Super Cena, my number one go-away heat wrestler of all time.
The best of that era was the ECW One Night Stands with the Cena.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was fucking fantastic, and he played it cool. He played it very cool.
Yeah.
Throwing the shirt and the audience throwing it back and shit.
Yeah, because we're like 06 Cena to 2015, so really like a 9-year run. Like
literally my whole high school through like early 20s.
That's crazy. That makes sense though. We had some really good diverse lists this time, guys. Ryback was the only one that made it a 2-timer on the list here, as he well
almost
deserves.
made it for me too. He barely,
as he well deserves.
Missed.
Should absolutely be on there.